So this is my Goku Black deck. Relatively simple, straightforward. Goku Black's ability: once per turn, if you have 2 or more blue energy, choose one card in your life and place it into your energy area. At the end of that turn, choose one of your energies and place them into your drop area. You awaken if you have 4 or less life, and draw 2 cards, flip them over. His awakened side is Goku Black, the Bringer of Despair, has a permanent effect. During your turn, if you have 2 or less life, this card gains 5k power and double strike. And whenever it attacks, you draw a card. Now, its awakened side is pretty good and all, but the deck's not focused on the leader. You know, the leader is just to help the deck, right? It's more about the main deck options. So you typically want to use Goku Black's first effect. We have 2 more energies to help you energy boost, so you can start making some bigger plays. So let's move on to the deck. Your main goal is to try to summon Unstoppable Despair Goku Black Rose. That's one of your big attackers that you want to summon. You also have other options, as well as also the Alert God. His Indestructible ability is obviously very useful. So back to him. You can evolve with 3 blue, 4 of anything on top of a Goku Black. The main target for that is Warrior of the Gods Goku Black. This Goku has Black has triple strike. He's 30k. Auto effect: when this card evolves, when a card evolves into this card, if your leader is Goku Black, which it is, choose up to 3 of your opponent's energies and place them into the drop area. So you can set your opponent back, you know, by a lot of turns by doing that, and you definitely want to get him out as soon as possible. So you want to try to get him out like maybe turn 6. You know what I mean? Or even 5 if you can manage it, depending on how good your hands are, right? You definitely want to mulligan to try to get some really good hands, because you definitely want to start off playing the energy, playing an objection, playing an objection. You know what I mean? And you're trying to get the energies out there pretty quick. I don't use the Whis attendant in here because you're going to stall long enough that you can play energies regularly to get the Unstoppable Despair Goku on the field. But you do have the objections to help you mana ramp relatively early. Plus, you also obviously already have your Whis, right? Through the means of Goku Black. Goku Black will give you that 1 energy you need to, you know, to get to your big 6, 7, and 8 drop sooner than later. And especially you'll want to try to evolve so you can get Goku Black Rose on the field even sooner. If you want to triple, you know, take advantage of the triple strike, you want to combo heavy, especially when your opponent's tapped out. That's the main time you want to do it, so you can hit them hard and fast, get them down to 0 as soon as possible. 2-drop Goku Black. Permanent: if Zamasu is in play in your battle area, this card cannot be KO'd by your opponent's cards, skills, and does not leave the battle area due to skills. It can die by battle, but it can't die by effects, which is useful. You could avoid stuff like Death Razor or any effect that says destroy all rested cards, especially if you attack with this, or just in general. You don't have to worry about it leaving the field so easily if you have Zamasu in your battle area. Here's your 6-drop Zamasu, the Alert God. You can evolve him with a Zamasu by 3 blue, 2 of anything. He's indestructible, so he can never leave the field unless it's through the effect of Xenos, the Plain God, which negates his indestructible ability and then gets rid of him. Auto: when your opponent's card attacks, if your leader card is Zamasu or Goku Black, which it is Goku Black, you may place 1 card from your hand to the drop area. If you do, negate that attack. and negate this skill for the duration of the turn. So you only get 1 negate from him per turn. And it's good to have, you know, a 25k body that's indestructible on top of that, right? They can negate an attack. It's almost like having a leader that has a built-in weak cohesion, right? So gotta love that. Then we have Zamasu the Invincible. So here's another Zamasu you can use for the Goku Black 2-drop. Has the Indestructible ability, of course, is a 15k permanent. If your leader card is Zamasu or Goku Black, and it is Goku Black, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand or battle every 5/1. So he becomes a 3-drop, just because, you know, your leader is Goku Black. So he's a 3-drop, so you get him out sooner than later. You can definitely get him out on your second turn by using Goku Black's ability to get that extra energy. So now you have 3 energy in your second turn. Then you can play this, and you already have an Indestructible 15k on the field on your second turn, which is very useful, right? And then you can evolve them later. Then, you know, for the consistency, so you can get any of these cards, since they're all gods, except for Courageous Heart Yajirobe, which is an Earthling. You look at you play Gowasu, look at the top 3 cards of the deck, and add one of those gods from there to your hand. He's a god, so you can add a copy of himself to your hand. Goku Black, you know, Rose is a god. This is a god. Zamasu is a god. You know what I mean? Even Piccolo is a god. Of course, Zeno, the playing god, is a god. So you have a lot of targets for it. Then we have Boost Attack Piccolo. Your leader is blue. If you have 4 or less life, you can use this to get 10k boost for your combo, as well as you get to draw a card at the same time. So it's always good to be able to replace something you play. Then we have Courageous Heart Yajirobe. There is a 1-drop King Kai, which is a god, but I want the revenge effect, you know, a block of revenge, so had to put my boy Yajirobe up in there. You can change the deck however way you want. Put the King Kai if you want, but I wanted Yajirobe, so that's why Yajirobe is there. Then we have Time Ring, which will help you with, you know, consistency, getting certain cards, especially if you're trying to evolve. Because you look at the top 10 cards of your deck, or up to 10, you can choose. I would do 10, up to 10, right? Choose up to 1 Goku Black or Zamasu among them. If you have 4 or more energies, so this is good for like mid game and late game, right? You choose 2 instead, so you get either 2 Goku Blacks or 2 Zamasus, or 1 Goku Black or 1 Zamasu. You know what I mean? So that's definitely good, especially if you're trying to do the evolve thing. You want to grab a Goku Black and a Goku, you know, Rose, right? That way you have the 2 cards you need to. You got the Goku Black, you know, to, you know, 2-drop, and then you can later on get into your 8-drop. You know, Goku Black, Rose. But if you want the indestructibilities of those Zamasus, you know what I mean, get 2 4-drops or a 6-drop and a 4-drop, you know, whatever, from Time Ring, do what you want. Then we have Objection. You definitely want to draw this your first hand, you know, your first hand, or you just want to have this in your first 2 turns, obviously, to help you get started, because you want to start ramping up. You want to start doing this every turn, especially the sooner you get to your, you know, Indestructible Zamasu, you know, your 4-drop, for example, the better, because right there you have something your opponent's going to have problems with, which will distract them from you playing energies. Then you want to be able to stall long enough to get a good amount of energies and use those objections. You got Mafuba. I'm not going to explain the effect. You should know what Mafuba does. If not, you can read it right there. But it's a way of negating an attack. Another way of negating an attack is, of course, Whis' Cohesion. A way to, you know, slow down your opponent, plus get rid of anything problematic, because there are evolutions, and your opponent, you know, obviously can evolve, especially the cell evolution, where you can go from a 3 drop, right, and then evolve into a 5 drop, and then evolve to a 7 drop. Well, you want to prevent that, so that you can use this obviously to bounce, you know, their 5 drop, because once they have 3, they're more likely, once they got the 3 drop, they're most likely can go into the 5 drop real quick, and you want to stop that. If they already get to the 7 drop, then you just want to get rid of it, because think about it, if they got to the 7 drop, that means they were able to summon the 3, get the 5, and then get the 7 in the same turn, because they probably had a 17 and an 18 in hand, which just made things so much easier for them. So then by playing this, you'll bounce the 7 back to the hand, and you know, they're not going to be able to summon it on the 4th turn unless they have the same hand again, where they could do the 3, the 5, and the 7, right? So you're definitely going to want this. Obviously, you're going to do stuff like Mafuba, for example, or Whis' Cohesion to defend against your opponent attacking with their cells, and then, you know, use Father Son Gallic Gun to bounce the cell back to the hand and, you know, destroy their field. And by doing that and slow them down, and slowing them down will help you ramp. It's a way of the way I look at it. By slowing somebody down, you essentially are ramping. And then we got, of course, Zeno, the Plane God, which is another good stall card. Another good way of, you know, if your opponent has the advantage, well, then let's get rid of the advantage. Especially if your opponent has Indestructibles, right? It's like, I need a way to deal with your Indestructibles. And then later on, I'll summon my Indestructibles, and then you'll be back to dealing with Indestructibles again. And the obviousness, right? And that's the end of the deck profile.